All right, it's time for another installment of Greg's recap of the Bass Pro Tour, Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour on Lake Eufaula. This is going to be the recap of the knockout round today, and today I was with Ott DeFoe, and I said this I think I said this in my last recap video, that Ott is a fantastic guy, one of my favorites, super easy to get along with, laid back, and one of the top fishermen out there. So I'm just going to kind of go through the day, offer some insights. If you haven't seen any of these videos yet, this is kind of a new thing I'm doing on this channel, where I am, as a freelance videographer for Major League Fishing, I'm just going to kind of recap the day, some things that I saw that maybe you didn't see on the live show, or you wouldn't see on the television show. So, yeah, Ott DeFoe went on an absolute tear this morning. He was on a crankbait bite. He was using a DT10, DT6 and a DT10, I believe. And I can't, you didn't pick this up on the show. What he's doing is actually very secretive. How should I say this? What he's fishing is very, I'm not going to say what he's doing. I think it has the real potential for him to win this tournament. It's so odd. And I'm sworn to secrecy. In fact, I don't think I can say anything for the rest of my life about this. But I'll tell you, if I'm ever down in Lake Eufaula and I'm fishing a tournament, I'm going to remember this. So this is one of the benefits of doing this job. Obviously I'm a fisherman, and the reason I really do this is because I'm a fisherman. The reason I stand for hours upon hours on the back of a boat with a heavy camera on my shoulder is because I love this sport. So Ott is doing something completely unique, and the first period he absolutely he ran away with it. And again, this is something really odd, what he's targeting, and I don't think anybody else has any clue about it. So there's such hammers in the top 10 fishing tomorrow that it's going to be it's going to be impossible to really predict. But I think Ott has a really, really good shot because no one else is doing what he's doing. It's that odd. Although there is one other angler, I'm not going to say who it is. Actually, there is. Yeah, I'm wrong there. There's one other angler that could be doing what Ott is doing tomorrow. So it's going to be very exciting, but really, really cool. After each period break, Ott's wife would call and he'd talk to his kids, and so he'd have the phone on the ground, and his kids would it was so cute, as cute as hell. His kids would be talking to him, and Ott is you just tell he's a great father, and they're watching on the live stream and encouraging him, and it's the absolute cutest thing ever. There's such love there with his family, but that really stuck out for me. I wish more people could have seen that. But what else would happen today? One thing that I've noticed this week that I haven't seen before while filming the Bass Pro Tour is that it seems like there are these alterations that are being made to spinnerbaits now that are kind of like an Alabama rig, but a subtle Alabama rig. Live Target came out with this bait ball spinner rig, which is it's like a spinnerbait, but it's like a cross between a spinnerbait and an Alabama rig, but in a compact Alabama rig. Well, I'm seeing more and more anglers using basically it's a spinnerbait, but it has two arms, okay? so you have like let's see, what's the best way to do this? So you have like the skirt here, okay, the skirt's here, and then you have these two arms, right? And on those arms, you have like blades, like you would a regular spinnerbait. So it's kind of like a cross between a spinnerbait, just like this live target bait ball spinner rig, if you haven't seen it. But it's actually more like a spinnerbait than the bait ball spinner rig. The bait ball spinner rig is more like a Alabama rig, where the what I'm seeing out on the Bass Pro Tour is like a spinnerbait with two arms, and it's got blades on both the arms, like, so you have like 4 blades all together. So that's a new thing that's happening. I'm a huge spinnerbait fan, so it's kind of cool to see that happening. So with an Alabama rig, all that flash and craziness is really something that makes that rig so good. And I think that's kind of that idea with those two arms and those blades like that. It's kind of very similar, getting the same idea with an Alabama rig. You're getting a lot of flash, and you're drawing attention that way. So that was very interesting. Yeah, so I'm looking at my notes right here. I've if you can see, my face is so red. Windburn, sunburn, I'm exhausted. I'll get into that later, but I need to have notes because I'm just drained. But Ott had such a commanding lead in the first period, and he had to be in the top 8, right? And he had such a commanding lead that first period. He went off and he just graphed around looking for this particular thing. I'm not going to be any more specific than that. And so he's looking for this particular thing, and most of the day he was graphing. He wasn't even fishing. So you saw Jordan Lee overtake him in the lead, and there was someone else, I can't remember who overtook him as well. So now he ended up, I believe, in 3rd place. But keep in mind, he wasn't really fishing. He was looking for new areas, similar areas to what he was fishing in the morning, and he was saving these spots that he caught the hell out of them in the morning. He didn't want to pressure him too much. He did his damage, did enough damage, let him be, had enough of a lead, and then just went searching for similar stuff. So to me, that's really smart, and he played it really well, I think. He's got a great shot at winning. I'm not going to make any more predictions anymore. I'm done making predictions, but I think Ott has a very, very good chance of winning. Let's see here. So I thought it would be kind of interesting if I kind of just gave you some insight into what it's like, what my routine is. So for instance, tonight, right, I have to, I'm going to upload this video, get this up and uploaded. And then typically what I do is I go out to dinner with my colleagues, other camera guys, come back and try to get into bed by at least 10, because I have to get up at 5 in the morning. So I'm getting up at 5 in the morning for these, and try to get in bed by 10. I'm finding myself, if I get 5 hours of sleep anymore, that's kind of fine. I don't need really much more than that. And I get up at 5 in the morning, jump in the shower, get all dressed, and I head over. I actually pick up a couple of the other camera guys, and we head over to the camera room where we have our cameras. We get our batteries. They've been fully charged. What's really nice about the Bass Pro Tour is we have a guy that takes care of all our cameras, make sure the batteries are charged each night, and we get all our stuff, put them in put all the batteries. We have like 8 batteries. Put them in what I call a go bag. It's just a duffel bag. Rain gear for the camera. Anything that we might need, a lunch, anything that we might need out on the boat for that day that's going to allow us to film all day. We don't need anybody coming to rescue us. We have to be very self-sufficient out there. And so we get our cameras. One of the things that's really interesting doing these live events, on the cameras we have what's known as an encoder. And that encoder is essentially like a cell phone, but these live events are run through cell signals. The only reason we're able to send out a live stream from the lake, we're using cell signals, just like in this phone that I'm recording this on. So the difference is in this encoder that's connected to the camera, it's not just Verizon. We also have like AT&T, all these different carriers that if the Verizon signal isn't very good, well then it can use the AT&T signal and vice versa, or a Sprint signal or whatever, T-Mobile. It uses all these different signals to make sure that when it's sending this video signal out, it's using the best signal to get that transmitted. My video, this is amazing. My video is transmitted. I'm here in Eufaula, Alabama. It's transmitted to Tulsa. It's very easy for me to talk right now, as you can tell. It's transmitted to the studio in Tulsa, and they are directing all the cameras in Eufaula. I have headphones in. I can tell exactly what they're doing in the studio. I can hear the commentators. I can hear everything that's happening. I can hear the truck where they're directing. Okay, take this camera, take this camera. They direct me. I've been camera 8 this whole week. They tell me when they're going to come live to me. A lot of times they'll tell me, get an update. You've probably heard it. Get an update from your angler. So you'll hear my voice, and they're just, it's really amazing. They're juggling all these things to make an entertaining live stream. It's really a daunting task, especially for as long as they're doing it. There's no other sport that I'm aware of. Maybe golf? I don't think so. There's no other sport where you're live streaming, the event is going on that long, and they're, all the camera guys are working that long, all the directors, the assistant directors, the commentators, the talent. It's really quite extraordinary. So again, no other sport. I mean, we go twice as long as any other sport. So that's kind of in a nutshell. If there's anything that you might be wondering about how I do this job, anything, behind the scenes stuff, just ask your question in the comments. I'll write back to you, and I can also answer in the next video I'll do. Yeah, so tomorrow, championship. I don't know who I'm paired with yet. We're going to have 10 anglers out on the water, and they're all hammers. I mean, Jordan Lee had a heck of a day today. Big fish. I mean, Eufaula is one of those fisheries that's legendary. I was talking to Ott about this. Eufaula is a legendary fishery. It's been a legendary fishery for a long time. I mean, for the 60s. I think this reservoir was impounded in the 60s, and it's been just, I mean, it's legendary. It has such a bass fishing history here, and it's still kicking out big fish. And I think the reason for that is grass. Grass is important, vegetation. But that's it. That's the wrap up of today, the recap, the insight. I don't know what I'm going to call this thing, but it's rough and tumble, just using my iPhone. Want to get this out quickly. And yeah, if you enjoy this video, check out our other videos on Angling Uploaded, and please subscribe if you enjoy what we're doing here. That's the best way to support us. And I gotta eat something, and then I'm gonna try to go to bed. So thanks for watching.